What does this sign say?
Well, I don't know about you, Kyle.
No,
but
I'm
Woody
from the
asked
guy.
me, it's because of my work ethic that I come on. It's my work ethic. I'm like that. I'm like that.
No, dude.
Seven
I don't know
years.
about you, but I've went out of my way to make it a painkiller already more than once.
Yeah, of
Oh.
course, occasionally. But by and large, it's like 8 o'clock every Thursday night. I got this.
Mercadurka, I have a question for you.
Yes. Is it Batman related?
No.
Ah.
Every time I talk to you, you seem to have a friends with benefits situation working. Possibly
dude,
two.
That was just a one-time thing.
It was not. No, you lie. You lie.
Too modest.
The reason is that, like sometimes he writes me, and it's been a little while, but he would sometimes write me for like relationship advice is kind of pushing it, but it's just like, if a girl.
Can I say one last thing with Batman?
No, that topic was horrible.
This topic is horrible.
Batman
Nobody
rolling
gives a
here.
shit about Mercadurka.
Really? Because the next thing I was about to say is, if a girl blows you, does she like you? Go ahead.
No.
Please, let's talk about Batman and his weight
Does she
issues.
love me?
Batman movie was made for $35 million, and it grossed $411 million. That right there should prove the
that's
star
suddenly-
power.
I'm searching my whole warehouse, not a single shit to find. I'm back with nobody's comment here.
Nope, not a single fuck.
Nope. Fuck, it's completely depleted. If she gives me a blowjob, does she love me? Is that what you said? Like,
We've talked about that before. So how many friends with benefits do you have right now? Like, if you were to say text somebody.
0 right now.
I'm actually surprised. Like, legit, if you wanted a blowy right now, you couldn't get any.
You can have my phone
I'd
number.
have to. Yeah, I'd have to give Kyle a call, and it's quite a drive to Georgia, honestly, and it's not really worth it there. But
Wait, am I having to personally perform this, or am I hooking you up with somebody?
I thought you were offering again. I mean, offering.
No. I was like, where's he going with this?
That was a one-time thing, Merca.
How about that guy that in Pride, he kissed him during the like touch gloves thing?
Yeah, Heath Herring was the guy that got kissed, and he sucker punched him.
What was your take on that thing?
I thought it was awesome what Heath did. I actually met Heath. I got to talk to him about it, and he's like, dude, if you kiss a man where I'm from, you're getting punched in the face. Doesn't matter if we're gonna fight. We're not supposed to fight. Go to the grocery store. Doesn't matter. You kiss me.
That's just step 2, right? You gotta get hit in the face.
I didn't touch him. I stood there and he tried to kiss me on the lips like a homosexual. I'm not gay.
I stand by my take that I could climb Mount Everest if I needed to within
in the water
18 months. I could climb Mount Everest if I had 18 months like lead time and someone to finance it. Of course, I could.
Yeah, someday you'll have the time.
I just don't think it's easy. I mean, I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's hard at all. I think it's really easy.
Really?
That'd be so funny if you died on Everest.
I mean, people do. Look, I just don't think it's hard. I think that it can be deadly, it can be dangerous, but I don't think it's hard. And I think when it is deadly and dangerous, it's sort of it's a weather event, and the climbing itself seems.
A lot of them are old.
Sure, they're in bad health when they go up there because a big part of it, in my humble estimation, is the lack of oxygen and climatizing to that and dealing with that as like a mission modifier, if you will. Like if you were making that hike at 1,000 feet of elevation or 3,000 feet of elevation, it wouldn't be a big deal at all. Like the last step or whatever it is, but they're so high up there and they're carrying those tanks of oxygen. But even still, it seems like they're all like suffering from various forms of kind of hypoxia or whatever, like lack of oxygen to the brain are very common. And there's multiple syndromes that people suffer from where you saw in the movie, I saw
like frostbite.
One guy. Well, the one guy he gets hot. He starts tearing his clothes off because he's like in a manic state. Like he's not himself in any way because of the oxygen, like long-term low oxygen or something like that.
Did you see that Reddit guy today? His like story?
Don't think so.
Oh, shucks. I don't know if I can still find it quickly. This might take a minute or two, but there's a guy who lived an absolutely amazing life, and I think he died on Mount Everest.
Oh, I saw that. He lived a crazy life. He like kayaked solo across the ocean a bunch of times at like 72 years old. He's ripped as fuck. He looks like an Aboriginal with his beard and hair. Like he's that kind of wild man. And he like summited Kilimanjaro maybe, and then he was like, "Give me 2 minutes to like get ready to head back down," and just sat down, fell asleep, and died. It's like, what a great life! Like that's perfect. Die on the summit of Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, and I was looking for him while you were talking, but yeah, and he just kind of willingly decided it was a good time to die.
Or he just fell asleep, you know. That's what I'd say. Dude, if it was me and you up there climbing, and at the end you were begging, I would tell anybody. I'd be like, he just gently went to sleep.
He decided that was enough. He called this a win. What he wanted to do was to die on the peak of Mount Everest.
He said he wanted me to have all his money.
He wanted to, and he asked that I zip his body up into his sleeping bag and
push him down the hill
and throw it off the mountain so that he would forever be here.
He wanted to be sure that any signs that this was murder were gone.
Gone.
No, he said, "Have my boots that you've wanted."
I think he choked himself a lot.
Are you wearing his watch? Yes, I am. Isn't it? Oh, he's
you wanted me to have it.
Man. A generous man would it?
You couldn't have taken his hand out of it.
Well, I couldn't work the latch, and I had my climbing axe.
It's cold up there.
Introducing liquid anesthesia.
Don't beg, but they would if they could speak English because you're burning them alive with flamethrowers and stuff.
They're coming at us pretty hard too.
Yeah, they seem like rough customers. I don't
they're pretty gross.
think we're ever kind of hard to negotiate with insects. That would be a big like if that's one of those sci-fi nightmare things that would like I don't like spiders and scorpions. I don't like bugs. I really don't. I'm afraid of them.
I don't care for them.
But they're so small that I can contend with them quite easily. It's rare that you see a bug that's big enough that it's scary. Sometimes you see like centipedes in South America, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like that's like a tiny snake.
I'm gonna arm myself before. Yeah, I get a stick before I'd go at him. Like I'm not gonna just try to step on him. He might go at my pants leg. And be halfway to, he's going for my nuts, and I'm like squeezing at the knee, trying to keep it.
Meanwhile, he's biting the shit out of your calf with his giant.
But he's stinging my calf over and over with his asshole, or spraying pheromones on me to attract the others from their hive or whatever they live in. I'm scared of those things. So, like when I watch those things about prehistoric insects back when the planet had a higher oxygen level, the insects could grow much larger because the way they breathe is they've had these little ports that they absorb it through their skin. So those can only get so big. So insects can only get so big.
Yeah,
and it's all about the oxygen content. They used to be enormous. Taylor, there used to be wasps as big as crows. Can you imagine a wasp the size of a fucking crow? You know they didn't like. You think that's a solo wasp? Like it lives by itself with its lady wasp, and they have like a couple. No, they're in a big hive somewhere for sure. There would.
How does it even fly?
You'd be walking through that prehistoric forest, and you just hear, and you'd look up, and you would have walked far too close to a wasp nest that looked more like a murder of crows, just sort of vibrating their little wings so that they keep the babies cool, just vibrating them and staring at you like your meat. Could we lay our eggs in that, mama? Like then they'd come for you and it'd be over. They'd stinging.
Is that
sting you over and over? They're not like bees. Yeah, it's all real.
Wasps the size of crows.
Zach, help me out with some science. Cook it if you have to.
If they want me to care about the farce of global warming, then they better start lying about bugs getting bigger.
Zach, go to cryptids.org. My password. I'm quite sure that I've seen the dragonflies, and those were like 12 or 18-inch wingspans from what I remember. So I'm pretty sure there were crow-sized wasps. I'd bet
maybe
an amount of money on it.
I thought I heard someone tell me once that like, oh, if you take like a wasp or a bee and you make it way bigger, that like the flight part won't work anymore. Like it wouldn't be able to get the thrust or the lift or whatever at that size. But a crawling wasp the size of like a chihuahua is still horrid.
Or ant, or beetles, or like a praying mantis the size of a cat would be a fucking problem.
That'd be a huge problem. Just snip your foot off.
I can't think of any big birds that flap their wings to fly very much.
That's modern day fucking hornets.
And that's awful. Those are unless that's a very small-handed person, that's awful.
Like insects flap their wings furiously. Little birds also like provide their own thrust by flapping wings. But if you look at birds of prey and such, an albatross, they just sort of they're built so they can kind of rest on their arms. Like for you to do an iron cross would be very hard, but if you were built like a bird, it wouldn't be so hard.
Yeah.
And then they just find thermals and surf around.
What the fuck is this?
Does this support Kyle's argument? I'm confused.
This is just a poorly rendered centipede.
That was a ocean creature.
This
That's
could
a
be
giant dragonfly. Dragonflies are the greatest flyers in the world. They can fly in any direction.
Yeah, according to them.
Well, I mean, hummingbirds can fly in any direction. They don't. You don't see them talking shit.
Dragonflies do it better though. They're super effective predators. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but this you did go to cryptids.com, I believe.
Is that a real website?
Well, I've never been there, but
this is what I would imagine is on. I bet Wendigoon spends a lot of time on cryptids.com. We need him to
cryptids.com. He gets ads for
of ancient lore.
I don't like these spider faces. If I'm being completely honest, I don't care for them.
Yeah, I hate spiders. I hate bugs. I dislike spiders so much more than I dislike snakes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm okay. So I know.
At least a snake has like a mouth, 2 eyes. I know what's up.
There's a reptilian brain thing, but my God, at least it's a brain. Whatever's in that spider's head, he does not give a shit about you. Like I can believe that a snake or even or crocodiles or whatever could have some sort of attachment with their person, or at least a familiarity that they think of you as like,
oh, this person brings
cohort.
Food. Yeah,
they think of you, or they think of you as like a cohort, like an associate or something like that. It's not like my dog thinks I'm like its parent and loves me unconditionally so much. I don't know if those gators do that, but they won't bite. Like clearly you can get those reptiles to not bite you. I don't know if you can do that with a fucking insect. If it's ever thinking like, oh yeah, that's my big friend Kyle. He hooks me up with spiders on the reg. Like he's not thinking that.
You're gonna
There's no way.
You in the abdomen and lay eggs in you the second
he's like,
I bet he would be wonderful to lay eggs in. He's so big.
They would talk.
That's what they're thinking. Yeah, that's how they talk.
It's very green worm tongue-ish. Yeah. Yeah. Bugs suck. If we could get rid of all the bugs except for the good ones, ants are fine.
Lord of the Rings trilogy, worst enemy is not Gothmog. No, sir. I'd fight 5 Gothmogs before I would fight that giant spider.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't want to.
Gothmog?
Gothmog was one of the.
He's Harvey Weinstein's.
Characters.
Oh, he was one of the orcs.
Yeah,
he was the big leader orc.
Yeah,
he's the one who like sees the boulder coming and steps out of the way at the last second and then spits on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe him other than he's the kind of guy that belongs at Burning Man, and he flies paramotors. So he like goes up and shows it from an aerial view of all what's going on, and he also just edits, and he's real popular on Instagram and stuff. Professional. I'm sorry.
I get a naked chick strapped to me, take her up there. She can't get away then. Not just the implication, fucking gravity. You're in trouble.
Gus.
Millions of followers, and these days, no one calls him a quitter anymore.
Introducing liquid anesthesia.
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
He's going to go get a P.O. box right now. We there? Yeah.
You need to put this in it.
I was really excited about my 100,000 subscriber present of $500 until you guys started talking about plaques and medals and.
Dude, I'm excited. I didn't realize I was getting it till I just checked my email. I checked my email all day.
Know.
Your scrapbook reminded me of this. I have like this gigantic bullet with your name on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's on my stream if you catch it.